Good morning, my friends, and welcome to our Destiny Worlds. Daniel Miller here. How is everybody doing today? Very, very wet and miserable and cloudy over here in North London suburbs. Expecting a lot more rain today and I think tomorrow, but they said scorching weather is coming our way from this weekend onwards. So I'm not sure whether I look forward to a bit more rain or indeed whether I'm not looking forward to that scorching weather. It's very, very hard to tell. As you know, we've had some very, very hot weather in Europe, 45, 46 degrees in France and Spain, and apparently I've read some reports today this weather is coming back, and I'm really not look for I really do not look forward to that. I don't really enjoy very, very hot weather, particularly if it is marred by pollution and humidity. Very humid in my local area every single day. In fact, yesterday I had my broadcast here and I felt quite dizzy, and I couldn't work out why, because it was absolutely not games or gaming related. It was all to do with that air coming in through my window during the night, and I had to drink a lot of water and then everything cleared up. I did persist for quite a while. I've had it for a few hours, and I drank a lot of water. I always have 4 liters of mineral water with me, and it really helped. So if you are experiencing the same, just remember you need to be properly hydrated. Your flat or the room or wherever you are needs to be properly ventilated, and you need to get a lot of fresh air in order to get the circulation going. Avoid these consequences of dreadful humidity. People do not realize how life-threatening the global warming is, and we've just discovered that the temperature globally had increased by 2 centigrades since the last century. So on average we are talking about a major increase of temperature in various parts of the world, and that means less water. Less water means no life, and people don't realize that if we don't have water, they just assume water is going to be there always. We might become like Mars. We've got Mars here in Destiny 1. Just have a look at the planet, see what it's like, and there's no life in there. It is in Destiny, but actually when it comes to the actual surface of the planet, it's dry. There's no water, there's no life, there's no air. So it's as simple as that. And I really worry about future generations. It's unlikely to happen to us, but for people who are very young today, goodness knows what will be happening in 40, 50, 60 years ahead of us. And I certainly can see the difference, not really over the decades, but in the last few years. You're really talking about the last 5 years. And I really wonder what direction the atmospheric conditions are going to take, because we might have all other kinds of natural disasters and perils, volcanoes and earthquakes and floods and tornadoes, strong winds, and many areas where people obviously are living could be just completely eradicated overnight. Regrettably, those people who are in the know, the leaders of the industry, the politicians, they're not really considering this seriously enough. And one assumes that the industry or the profits or the investments or whatever the production is out there is always going to be there, but actually that's not the case. If you have a difficulty with natural resources, or indeed if you have a depletion of all of those resources which are necessary for those enterprises to run, you are going to be your fish out of water. You're just not going to have anything anymore. And that is indeed deeply worrying. I wonder what future is going to bring, and I'm not hopeful considering what attitudes we are indeed witnessing today. Just try to think about all of those high-tech gadgets we use every single day. Think about the servers sufficing Google and Bungie and Facebook and all the other online-based entities. Think about the heat they create. If you have your desktop, you will know, just like your television set or your PlayStation, they will radiate a considerable amount of heat. And a server sufficing many, many people worldwide and containing an enormous amount of data will be heating a lot more, which means they need to be kept in very, very cold, confined areas. So what happens to North Pole, for instance? What happens to the areas of Earth which are full of ice? If we keep getting that overheating, at all times, well, the consequences are hard to predict. And I'm just reflecting on my own experience of humidity and hot air and pollution, all of that, which is strongly experienced in not my local area, but in London, one of the world's capitals. And it's just that really we all need to be a bit more concerned about global warming and all that is happening, because if we are not careful enough, us the humans are going to destroy all of the resources which are there that make us live. And humanity has to survive, and humanity did face certain threats in its history, and the threats were very considerable, and we do remember, well, we do know from all that's been written that certain types of perils did affect the human development, and civilizations were to fall. Think about ancient Greece, think about ancient Rome, think about ancient Egypt, Mayas, Aztecs, all of those ancient civilizations, and what happened to them. Indeed, they were faced with certain threats, and the threats became far too great for them to contain, and therefore they perished. So, we can be brought back to the Stone Age in no time if, for instance, we have no power or electricity. Think about the industry of today, all the transportation and other facilities that we use 24/7. If we don't have enough fuel, or if we don't have any other energy resources, they just grind to halt. There's no industry, there's no transport, there's nothing. Go back to, carts and horses and people doing it on foot. And on the other hand, that will not be possible if we have no water or air, because without water there's no life. And it does really make me wonder whether we are to be facing, like a properly apocalyptic environment similar to what we had in Mad Max, where people are fighting for water because there isn't enough water anywhere. And, it really makes you wonder. I don't want to be a prophet of doom, but certainly considering how the weather conditions are affecting us, and particularly the weather affecting older people or people with disabilities and certain health conditions, I could feel this difference during the last few days. And yesterday I felt I probably was affected the most compared to all other experiences, and it's all due to the changes in atmospheric pressure. For certain, we had a dreadful change overnight, which actually woke me up I think it was 5 o'clock in the morning. So 4 o'clock in the morning, in fact. And after sleeping for about 5 hours, I woke up and I couldn't sleep for about 90 minutes at all. I was wide awake. So there was something in the air keeping me so awake. I couldn't really work out what it was. And then as I fell asleep again, I didn't get really a proper kind of deep sleep. And, the consequence of that was quite simple. I woke up feeling a bit dizzy and hazy, which is, I don't think it's ever happened like this before. I don't remember actually waking up feeling like that ever before. So it's hard to tell what would have caused it, but I believe it was all to do with humidity and the poor air quality and all else that was happening overnight. Because really, we're expecting a lot of rain, and then we just got a lot of humidity. We did have some rain overnight tonight, and it was very, very nice, very, properly refreshing the air, and I've slept absolutely wonderfully. I woke up today, I think it was about 8 o'clock in the morning, and felt absolutely terrific, completely wide awake and alert and, crystal clear compared to the previous morning. So anyway, if you are equally concerned about those issues, then please use video gaming and your online communities to raise awareness on global warming and greenhouse effects and all else that is affecting our local environment. Very, very important to be basically standing on a box and raising your voice, because you actually are in power, you are in control, you are the person who is going to be able to create those changes, initiate them by actually speaking up. Remember, sometimes the history of the world is resting on the shoulder of one man, and that's been seen in history many, 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 many times, and it will be seen in history yet again. You have a leader who is productive, forward-thinking, and constructive and positive. He will bring major changes to all that is around him. And you have a leader who is vicious, destructive, malignant, nasty and violent. he will create an absolute disaster, not just for his own environment, but for the rest of the planet. And that is something that history should always remember. People should read history books and learn from all that's happened. But you know what? It doesn't happen. People prefer reading silly things on Instagram and Facebook, like watching videos of no significance, like to be departing from day-to-day concerns and everyday responsibilities, and those issues are just swept under the carpet, or they just evaporate into thin air. And I urge everyone to do otherwise. Urge everyone to do exactly the opposite. Look at those issues, do something about them, because your environment and what is around you will not change unless you as an individual make an impact. People say, well, what can I do? I'm just a drop in the ocean. I can't do anything anywhere at any time. The fact is, if you are deeply concerned about those issues, if you are focused and preoccupied with the means through which those issues could be affected, or indeed through which they can change, you will initiate that change. Remember that. Read history books, go to your local library, examine some of the books describing some of the biggest threats to humanity or to certain countries in recent history. You'll find out humans survived. They found a way through which they fought the disadvantage and eventually achieved the most incredible victory in order to survive. We have our own self-preservative drives, and Dr. Freud described them in depth. Anyone interested, you could just dig up some of those books in the library and you'll find out in order to survive we do all kinds of things, and our survival drives are also based on our inherent capacity to prolong life, not just of our own but also of our offspring and humanity overall. So once we are faced with certain threats, we unite, we operate on a completely different level as individuals. We find common denominators, we find reasons as to why we should stick together. All other ills, all other differences, all other elements that were basically developed through our communities just completely disappear, because there's one primary objective in mind, which is basically to survive. And that brings us together with all other species, but worth keeping in mind, worth raising those issues. And indeed, I'd like you to think about that just a bit, because I think video gaming online, Twitch channels, streaming and broadcasting is a wonderful way through which certain issues could be exposed and raised. And I talked a lot about people who are doing charitable runs here, people who are doing lots of different games in order to raise funds for those who are in the need, people who are disadvantaged, people who are suffering from some sort of illness or disability, people suffering from homelessness. These are the ways through which these issues can be raised, and you can contribute every single day. So remember that if you are considering what to do, which may be considered noble, and if you're considering how you can be useful to your own community. Alright, so these were some of my thoughts about all of those current ongoings, and we are coming back to Destiny 1 Worlds. We are going to be doing yet again what we did earlier in the week. We'll do quite a bit of Crucible. We are going to be doing some community-based matches, preferably, or presumably we'll get together in Mayhem Rumble, which is what we've done every single day of this week. And we had a lot of fun. Yesterday we had 4 members joining, a couple of other days before we've had 6 members joining, and we had a lot of entertainment and fun for everyone to enjoy. We were basically fighting against one another and trying to find out strategies through which we could just eliminate as many opponents as possible, and that was absolutely hilarious. So anyone interested, just have a peek, look at those broadcasts. All of those are on Twitch, and just go to the playback and you'll see some of those adventures. We'll do the same thing today. I think Sekapupu and Jesse and Furry Spider and Flying Pirates may well be joining us a bit later, but I think I'll kick off with some Control. Control is the activity I can engage with all by myself as quickly as possible, and then I'll be joined with other 5 in my team. So without further ado, we are going to crack on. Before we actually enter the game, I want to tell you that Bungie had released a new video, and this new video is basically celebrating the anniversary of the moon landings, And guess what? We were looking at the moon landings in Destiny as well, because we are going back to Destiny in Shadowkeep, the next DLC. And I'd like to ask everyone to basically view the video and get a bit more knowledgeable on all that is to follow in Destiny 2 Forsaken. And you'll get a lot more experience and knowledge and get some visuals on all that will arrive to our desk in September, to be precise, on September the 17th. And you know, they talked about the enemies coming back, but also the emphasis was on reworking the planet, and they will also be introducing lost clusters. So remember, like in other areas of Destiny 2, lost clusters are going to be there for you to explore, first of all for you to discover. And you will be astonished to find out that there were areas that you never ever experienced before whilst playing your moon patrols for, you know, I don't know how many times, and you'll discover that those ones are going to be accessible in Destiny 2 Forsaken, and there'll be lots of activities attached to them as well. And I believe we may be facing some serious threats of darkness and minions from those lost clusters. So the map is going to be massively expanded. It will look you know, enhanced compared to the one which we're used to. And we are going to be able to tackle all the enemies and proceed with the story. So they did say there will be other areas that were previously not accessible, and some of the areas are going to be still worked on, and the graphics are going to be the next gen graphics, of course, 4K compatibility, and altogether it looks like a very, very immersive world. So if anyone who's asking why we're going back to the moon, is everything going to be repetitive, the answer is quite frankly no. It is the same planet, there will be the same enemies, but the activity is going to be significantly different. In addition to that, the maps are expanding, we'll discover new areas, and we'll be exploring and enjoying adventures in those as well. So really a lot to look forward to, and indeed I applaud the developer for providing us with these good introductions, keeping everyone in suspense, and most importantly, wish to say to everyone, there are lots of rumors about Destiny 3 and all that is allegedly Destiny 3 related. You need to disregard these rumors immediately, because Bungie had not released a single word on anything that is Destiny 3 related, or I should say anything more substantial, because they said they are considering Destiny 3 and they're doing some preparatory work, but it's not clear in what format Destiny 3 will actually get presented to us. It may well be in this massive big open world of Destiny 2 Forsaken, and we may be experiencing a completely different world compared to what we had previously with standalone games. So everyone needs to be patient and don't believe the rumors, because I've read some articles on the net indicating they're fully in possession of the knowledge on what the story is going to be like and what is likely to be happening. It's just all speculations, because some of the stories might have been leaked from Shadowkeep or any other DLC which is still in preparation, and they're basically drafting it as the plot for Destiny 3, and that's just complete nonsense. So don't really read any of those. Well, I mean, you can read them, but don't believe the things said, because the only information that you want to rely on is the officially released information from Bungie. And what we've heard and what we've seen is what I just described. We got a brand new video basically celebrating the moon landings, and in this instance we are getting some extra glimpses of our moon in Destiny 1 and all the activities and areas which are going to be there. It looks beautiful, it looks immersive, it looks absolutely haunting, it looks darker and deadlier to what we've seen in Destiny 1. So be ready, beware, be prepared, and indeed waiting patiently for that 17th of September. Right, Hunter, Human Male, DRBMiller it is going to be. So get ready for some fierce action in the Crucible. There we are, my friends. We need to go back to the tower first and foremost to get some bounties. So let's go to the tower. I'm waiting for Circle Poo Poo, Furry Spider, and all of our friends to pop in. And then we'll see whether we'll do Rumble. But before then, I'll do some of Control. So bear with us. We are going to our first destination, which is the tower. There we are, my friends. We are now to be collecting some bounties, but I remember there were a few leftovers yesterday for me to do. I'll do this first.
Ready to assist.
Mystery bag! What is this? Alright. Tarantula needs to go definitely to the vault. Urgently. We do not need it in there. I'll just see, just a minute. Yeah, this one. This one that has no perks is going to the vault. There. So I can go back and pick up my last item. Okay.
Searching.
Searching! This one needs to go out. 400. Raku Poltergeist. Right. Oh. Nothing, nothing, nothing.
Civilization once stretched from the southern tip of this continent.
Indeed, sire. I brought you some interesting finds. Will you have a moment to spare? Aye, aye, Captain, he says. So we are to be doing some of those engrams. Just one. Takanomi, and Takanomi it is no more. Okay, what else have we got there?
Come back before I get bored.
Looks like we need to go to Lakshmi. Lakshmi will have something for us, right? So that means we raise the bar with our reputation.
My movements are to assume.
I'm becoming your Crucible champion. Look at that cloak. Lakshmi.
Good to see you.
Good to see you, ma'am. Indeed. So what shall I pick up there? Future war cult weapons. Salts. Okay. Special armor materials.
That will come in
Too
handy.
many of these.
Is that everything? All done. Good.
Good. Okay.
Until we meet again.
And what is our reputation with Future War Cult? 19. Okay. Sharpshooter. Reputation is up 8 on my Crucible reputation. Okay. Knives. How many? 15 in there. End-to-end throwing knife skills. That's just a non-starter for me. How on earth am I to get kills with that poor upload speed there with knives? Throwing knives is just ridiculous. It's not going to work. What I'm curious about actually is... let me see, logical conclusion. Okay. You see, this rank I don't have. All in all, looks pretty. Story all completed. Titan's Will, we have still a few bits there to be completed. Hunter. Okay, those are self-sufficient. Complete the Crucible Hunter, I guess. Quests, just a handful of bullets, shielded lighting, and draw from the void. So these must be advanced or something. Looks like just one left, which is that. I need to ask my community members where this would be, because that's the next step. Mysterious Path. Milestones, we still have Void Master, Song for the Sun, and Fulminator. Show your might. Defeat opposing guardians in the Crucible as a Warlock. Okay. We'll do that. Soon Eye Strikes. Crucible, quality control. Control points captured. Rumble Tumble. Historian. There are 30 ghosts. 30 dead ghosts in the Crucible. Well, I need to ask for some help there. Pride of Shacks. Crucible matches 172. Clash Warfare. Clash Points. Master Arms. Well, as you could see, loads of different items, loads of different tasks to be completed. Raids. Croatan Glass. Yeah. I have plenty of those there. collections. "49 dead ghosts out of 130. Sleeping echoes 10 out of 25. Okay, so these are the tasks that I'll need to be focusing on, and we'll do that probably with flying pirates. Looks like I need to be playing all these monarchies. My goodness, that's gonna take forever. Allegiances. Well, this can't be done anymore. Charles of Osiris has been discontinued. Book completion 73%, so not doing badly, but there are quite a few items in there that still need to be collected, and quite a few quests to be completed. Right. And record books. Rise of Fine, what's this? Okay, that's very pretty. But what we do want to see is change. There we go, now is fine, we'll put it on. And consumables. Not chest, mystery bag. Silver dust. Okay. So we could purchase some stuff with silver dust. And it's the one skeleton key. I thought I had a few. Bad Juju's appearance. Black spindle. Touch of malice. Vex Mythoclast. Last word. Telesto. Saros regime. Yeah, it would need to be one of those exotics, which I do not have. Alright. And okay, back to Lakshmi. No. Back to the books, because there was something I wanted to collect in there. Zombie consumables again, I think. Yeah. Days of Iron Crown, Days of Iron Crown. No. Let's see. Okay. Yeah, this is a better helmet. So we are going to infuse it with Bogatire. Yep. We have intellect, super energy on grenade kills, bonus energy on pickup, ornament. Days of Iron Ornament, okay. So, what do we have there? Bonus energy, increase super energy. Oh no, we need to have that. Orange chroma, arc recovery, spectre infinite vest. Ion tracer vest, solar recovery, scout rifle, shotgun ammunition. Okay, we'll keep it like this for the time being, I think. You're getting some friend requests on PlayStation. Thank you. Thank you to my community members for wanting to join us and our Destiny World community. Thank you for that. Really appreciate it. I want to see whether we have some other items that can be indeed claimed, and I just discovered that I was not claiming some of those there. So that was head armor, chest armor. Okay, so we'll go back, we'll open, we'll do everything really, bit by bit. Open that chest armor. Iron hauberk, iron cuirass. Right, so let me see, chest armor, iron hauberk. Looks really awesome. Days of Iron Ornament. The other one needs to go. It's for the Titan. Okay, and then
War is our fate. Can you learn to love it?
we'll need to look at the third one in there. Okay, don't want a ghost. Legs. Jesse's here. Hello Jesse, how are you doing? Thank you for joining us. Thank you for watching our broadcast, and thank you for being a member of our community. How is everything, Jesse? I'm just doing some admin before cracking on with the Crucible. Yeah, I can see that the screen's gone black because I had a notification telling me that there are RTGs on PlayStation Network, so I'll have to restart my broadcast. Just bear with me, I'll restart my broadcast instantly. Just want to see what I got there in that mystery bag. Okay, we'll look at that instantly. My dear friends, I have to restart my broadcast. I got some notifications indicating that there are outages on PlayStation Network. So I have to discontinue my broadcast. Stay with me here on the channel. I'll resume the broadcast immediately if indeed the PS Network is going to allow me to do that. And then we'll resume with our stream. I apologize for this. It does happen from time to time. The outages I experienced on PlayStation Network, and there's very little that I can do. So bear with me. I'm going to be discontinuing my broadcast and then resuming, and hopefully all is going to work. So stay with us here on the channel. I'll be back as soon as possible.